Hello and welcome back to CBR MTG. We are filming from a game store this time, filming a little bit of Highlander action coming out of GP Sydney. My name is Angus Mackay. I'm joined here by Philip Nicholson.
Hello, I'm Philip.
We brought him on the stream. We brought him on the filming floor so we could talk TM55. This is Highlander today, but Phil, what's TM55?
So it's a blue-red Prowess deck. It's named after the move Skeld from Pokemon. Plays a lot of very bad creatures that have the word Prowess on them.
Cool. And you're also playing, really taking advantage of the being blue-red, you're able to play Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon pretty easily as well as sort of a backup plan.
Yeah, the list that I'm running actually only plays Magus, and it plays it in the sideboard.
Okay.
Just because
Blood Moon doesn't hit for 10.
Yeah, pretty much. It doesn't reduce my opponent's life total to 0, which is really what I'm about.
Okay. We're seeing some of the cards coming out of your opening hand. I do see a Gush and a flip card. What flip card do you have there?
It'll either be Chandra Fire of Kaladesh. I think it's Jace Friend's Prodigy though.
Okay.
If I remember this game correctly.
This looks like a pretty slow hand coming out of your side. Just a couple of lands, a Gush, and a creature. Not really what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, unfortunately, Wizards has not printed as many 1-drops with Prowess as I would like. You basically only get to play 3 between Swift Spear, Soulscar Mage, and Blister Coil Weird.
Yeah.
And Blister Coil Weird is definitely not on the fringe,
one.
but you know, I just drew Storm Chaser Mage because I'm really good at Magic, so that certainly helps a lot.
It's definitely a good strategy. And on Will's side, we're playing a Highlander adaptation of the 5-color Humans deck that's been showing a lot of strength in Modern lately. This is a very interesting list. The only non-humans, as we see, is Scavenging Ooze, and then there's a couple of bits and bobs. Just Quasali Pride Mage, I think.
Definitely plays a Leovold because that card's just obscene.
Yep, good card to play. Yeah, so we'll see how it adapts to Highlander. But from what I've played against it, it's really good, really strong card.
I'm not sure how much it actually gets from the sort of the legacy sets.
Yep.
The stuff that's not legal in Modern. But, I mean, obviously it's something because the deck seems to just keep doing perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely playing Time Walk as one of its points, so that's...
3 of its points.
3 of its points, yeah, of course. To sort of just jank out that double... it's essentially attacking twice.
Yeah. Time Walk in any deck that contains creatures is really disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that a Bedlam Reveler out of your hand?
It is, which is pretty unfortunate with the current state of my graveyard.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty hard to cast, and also not very beneficial for you at this moment, considering you've got a full grip at the moment.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Bedlam Reveler, when it's good, obviously it's just insane. But when you draw it in hands with Gush or Treasure Cruise, especially Treasure Cruise, it's just miserable.
Yeah.
So there I'm just casting Shadow Rift on a creature to cantrip.
Yeah, cool. Well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
Gush is really helping. So we see there's a deck similar to this in Pauper, I think, right? There's like a red...
The Kiln Fiend deck?
Yeah.
Which you can also play in Modern if you want to, although I think the Pauper deck is just better because you get to play Ponder and Preordain. You can't do that in
Gush,
Modern.
right? You might not.
In Pauper? I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, so you, like... This is not like a hugely played deck, but you seem to be like playing it a lot and at least enjoying it.
Yeah, I just really like casting Time Walk and just like 20-0ing my opponent from board states that I shouldn't be able to win. So I'm really behind here.
Yeah, this is not looking too good for you.
Yeah.
I don't see what you drew off that the Gush, but just the fact that you're down to 1 land now and no creatures. We're going to swing in for just a bunch here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, and even just the fact that he has a Heretic Cathar in play is pretty bad for the deck, because the
creatures have haste.
Yeah, there's a lot of creatures with haste, and the mana base is pretty fetchland heavy.
Okay.
And there's a decent number of... Yeah, so I just conceded the...
Yeah, it's probably a good time to scoop it up.
Probably. There's a huge number of fetchlands to fuel Treasure Cruise, primarily.
Okay, sure.
And then there's... just a lot of other non-basics. I'm playing both Barbarian Ring and Cephalid Colosseum.
Both very good cards in your deck.
Yeah, they're both very strong.
Yeah.
Although I've definitely had some games where I've reduced myself to 12, 13 life on turn 3 without any assistance from my opponent.
Yeah, that'll do it. I think I saw is that the Is it Dragon, the Drake coming out of...
Enigma Drake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
interesting.
I bought it out a decent amount, just because it's really slow.
Yep.
And also he does have a non-zero number of idiots that just fly, which means it doesn't punch through for as much damage.
Yeah, sure.
I'm definitely considering Enigma Drake as one of the cards I might cut from the deck for to make way for Adeliz, the Cinderwind from Dominaria.
Okay. It's I haven't seen the card yet. What does it do?
So Adeliz is blue, red, and 1 for a 2/2 flying haste human wizard. With whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, all of your wizards get +1/+1.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. The deck
got a few wizards, a non-zero amount of wizards.
It's disappointingly small. It's a lot smaller than you might think it is because so many of the creatures are shamans or monks.
Yep.
Because the prowess is originally from Khans.
Okay.
So basically everything from Khans itself is a monk.
Yep.
But Snapcaster, Soulscar Mage, Stormchaser Mage, and Jace Prodigy are all... I've attacked with Jace Prodigy before.
Yep. I mean, you may as well, right?
Yeah.
If you can.
Sometimes.
So I saw you sort of flicking the Magus of the Moon to the front in this game. Probably a pretty decent idea.
Yeah. So obviously the 5-color humans deck wants to have access to all 5 colors.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
not just red. And so it's even fine against them in Modern, but in Highlander they only get to play 1/8 of Isle, not 4, which is one of their prime ways of getting around it.
So, I play like the couple of mana dorks, probably only... Oh, no, I think I play Birds of Paradise, if I'm not mistaken, but definitely playing...
I think they probably also play Deathrat Shaman.
Yeah,
I guess.
Honorary
card is
human.
pretty nuts. But just having a... Even if you can just make it so that they have to rely on their mana dorks to cast spells, and obviously being a blue-red sort of burn deck, you can often just bolt away a mana dork.
Yeah, exactly. Also, like, you only need, a turn or two to go off, so it's a good way to get through it. We see coming out of your hand, there's I think I saw a Rite of Flame and a Gush again.
Looks
and
like...
a couple of cards in the
I'm not sure what the
middle,
card on the left is, but it looks like there's an Elusive Spellfist, a Gutter Snipe, and a Kiln Fiend for creatures, so it's a pretty creature-heavy hand.
Gutter Snipe seems pretty good.
It's okay. Yeah, but it's pretty vulnerable to removal.
Okay.
And it can almost never attack, just because it's a 2/2 without any evasion.
Yeah,
But it does do a lot of damage.
Okay, that's interesting. Seeing a pretty slow start coming out of Will.
Yeah.
Just sort of evaluating what he wants to do. I see an Aether Vial in his hand.
He did draw it for turn 2, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm sure he would have much preferred to play it on turn 1.
Yeah, you can't get so lucky in Highlander sometimes being a singleton format, but getting on turn 2 is pretty good.
That's fine.
You can get it ticked up eventually. I think we might go for this line, yeah. We see him just trying to play out this Aether Vial.
He also seems to have a Jide in hand, which is...
very good.
It's a very, very powerful card.
Yeah, absolutely.
Particularly against the blue-red burn deck. It's got a lot of creatures that don't have a lot of toughness, so it's easy to pick them off. Yep. And being able to gain 4 life a turn, even that's just really rough to beat.
So, what is this a deck of your design? Your creation?
So it was originally the original form of it, although it's changed a bit since then, was designed by Timothy Evers.
Okay.
He just wanted to play a deck that contained Days Undoing.
Okay, sure.
And so he was playing a lot more fast mana and a lot more bad Wheel of Fortune effects, whereas now I'm just playing Wheel of Fortune and Bedlam Reveler. Okay.
That seems very reasonable. And have you made any other changes since taking over the deck from Tim, or is it just...
so I've cut almost all the fast mana. The only piece that I'm still playing is Rite of Flame, and it's definitely a card I'm considering cutting moving forward.
Okay.
To play more cantrips. So the original list didn't contain Ponder or Preordain.
That's interesting.
And it now contains both. They're both very good cards.
Yeah.
I added Shadow Rift, which Tim just didn't realize was a card. Which, if anyone, it gives a creature shadow, which means that it can block and be blocked only by other creatures with shadow.
Sure.
So you can hit your own creatures to make them unblockable, but if your opponent only has 1 blocker, which happens a lot more than you'd think, you can just hit their dude, and then you also don't get blown out by removal.
Yeah, cool. That's reasonable. If you were trying to convince, what type of person would you suggest this deck to? If someone's looking into joining the format, maybe trying a different deck, what type of person would you suggest this deck should belong to?
I mean, primarily someone who has access to a time walk.
Yeah.
I think that's
That's
a really important piece of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
But also people who just like, I guess the appeal of decks where you play a lot of cards that sort of individually don't seem that fantastic, but they have a lot of synergy together. So if the Kiln Fiend deck from Pauper or Modern appeals to you, or even I found it's pretty similar to playing Infect in a lot of ways.
Okay, sure. Swing for a little bit more damage, but I see the.
Also, if you just like casting Gush, this deck very much enjoys casting Gush.
Yeah, it seems like one of the perfect shells for Gushby to be playing, to be played. I see it in.
Yeah, so I played it this turn after playing Gutter Snipe, so it was my turn 4, so I started a land play.
Yeah,
so
cool.
I Gush bolted away one of his blockers and then just attacked for some insane number.
A large amount.
I think it was lethal. Kiln Fiend has 7 power here, so he jump blocks with the Mother of Runes and still goes to 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, that's an insane Gush play. You see it in a lot of sort of tempo decks where they're trying to just like drawing cards is just more important than having the lands on the battlefield.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's definitely true in this deck. The highest CMC in the entire deck is a single 4-drop, which is the Sideboard Fiery Confluence.
Yeah,
and everything in the main deck is 3 or lower.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
if you count Bedlam Reveler as 2, which
Bedlam Reveler is 2, Treasure Cruise is 1, and Gush is 0.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know, I'm all about positive thinking and always evaluating my cards in the best possible context, which is why I'm playing Warrior's Oath.
Oh dear. Yeah, it's probably a good time for you to play that Magus of the Moon if you find it, because Will might not even be expecting it at this point, because you've seen his on the battlefield mono duels.
I'm not sure that the 5-color Humans deck actually has enough basics that he can just fetch for it.
Oh wow, okay.
I think he plays. I know there's a Plains and there might be a Forest as well, and I think that's it.
Oh wow. This collected company could be pretty good for him. Another way to sort of snake things into play.
Yeah. So he's got.
We see the Diefleet Daredevil there as well, possibly snatching up one of those lightning bolts.
Does he have a second island or just the tropical?
I think this is a Tundra, right?
Yeah, so he could actually. I do remember he took quite a while to actually think about this, and I guess this is probably why he's trying to figure out
whether or not he wanted to gush.
Whether he can afford to gush, whether that actually puts enough of a presence on the board itself. Because obviously I just have 5 power, even if I don't cast anything at all on my turn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Diefleet definitely blocks.
It blocks Kiln Fiend really well.
Yeah.
So that's first strike.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of things, unfortunately, block Kiln Fiend very well.
Alright, so we are going to opt for an Imperial Recruiter and the Diefleet Daredevil.
Yep.
Still not 100% sure what he's deciding he wants to cast, but it looks like he might be going for that Bolt.
Yeah.
Possibly just going for the Kill Fiend while he can.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, it's also possible that I'm not 100% sure if Diefleet lets you pay the alternative cost. I'd have to double check that.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it's just saying that you can cast it.
And if it is, it's definitely something that we both missed in the matchup. Although he's pretty far behind here, so that having 2 more cards in hand might not be as relevant. He might also just want to stop me from Snapcaster Bolt rather than, because obviously Snapcaster Gush you definitely can't pay the alternative cost.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Snapcaster Bolt would just be lethal.
This Thalia was a pretty good pick from Will on this side, because it's going to make it very hard for you to go off with this. I mean, you're definitely going to try your hardest. Mutagenic Growth does the thing.
Yeah. Mutagenic Growth and Red of Flame both 3 Gutter Snipe and Elusive Spellfist, so...
Yeah, it was a good hand. That hand didn't lose to Thalia.
Yeah.
Cool, alright, well...
it was pretty late Thalia, and it was a pretty creature-heavy hand at the start, so...
Yeah, well, definitely worked
kind
out.
of what you want against Thalia. You don't want to be trying to chain cantrips.
Yeah, exactly. Considering we were talking earlier about how light your creature base is, it was good to see
Yeah, I think it's only 12 or 13, something like that.
Okay.
One of them is Snapcaster Mage, and one of them is Jacerim's Prodigy, neither of which are too
haste.
Yeah. There are currently, I think it's just a pair of creatures in the side. Oh, there's 3 creatures in the sideboard. There's a Diefleet Daredevil to bring in against decks that play their own lightning bolts.
Yep.
There's a Rampaging Ferocidon, which I probably should have brought in this matchup, but I forgot to.
Okay.
Which is for...
Seems pretty good against those aggressive builds.
Yeah, it's mostly just for basically any deck that plays both white and or black. It stops a lot of the incidental life gain of cards like Kitchen Finks, and it's just really good against Lingering Souls.
Yeah, totally.
And if someone wants to force themselves to cast some Flashback Lingering Souls, I'm definitely okay with that. And then the last one is a bit weird, which is a Jeskai Sage in the sideboard, which just has...
Sage?
So it's a 1/1 for 2 with Prowess, and when it dies, you draw a card. Okay. So it's just for matchups like Grixis, where they don't have any removal that doesn't kill.
Yeah,
so they don't have Path or Swords, and they don't have a lot of blockers, so they probably have to kill it at some point.
Okay, sure.
And the deck
it gives you a little bit of value with the drawing the card on the battlefield. Yeah, that's reasonable. This hand seems pretty fine on your side. We see a couple of bits and bobs.
You can see a Slip Through Space and a Reckless Charge.
That's all you need.
You usually need a creature to target those things out, but I like the positive thinking.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is a Champion of the Parish on Will's side as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong turn 1 play in a Humans deck.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one that pumps creatures...
Pumps itself humans. Whenever you play on the human. Yep.
Yeah, great. The 4 of in the modern deck.
Yeah, I can also... He's got at least a Mantis Rider and an Abrupt Decay in hand. And I think he's fetched Scrubland turn 1, so he's got Abrupt Decay open if he needs to.
Okay. It could be a good line to just keep up the Abrupt Decay, right? Just in case, because your hands can be very explosive. Like if you play a creature and it has haste already, and then you sort of mutagenic growth it or whatever, you could be facing off against a lot of power. Yeah, Speak of the Devil is a mutagenic growth coming out of your hand. So see, going for the Spire Bluff, possibly just playing out one of your creatures. Yeah, great. This is, what's this creature here?
So, Elusive Spellfist. I think it's a human monk.
Okay.
Although, I don't remember exactly because my card is in Korean. And it's a 1/3 with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets +1/+0 and cannot be blocked until end of turn.
Okay. So, pseudo prowess.
Yeah. Just the important thing is that it can't be blocked.
Yeah, sure.
There's a lot of decks in Highlander that just play cards like Courser of Kruvix. That are just almost impossible to attack through without some kind of evasion.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of instances where I've played a creature that sort of by itself looks worse, but it can punch through that kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
So here, Will's played a Kumbal, which is pretty much my deck's worst nightmare. It's a 2/3 whenever your opponent casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life and you gain 2 life. Which is pretty strong against cantrips. Makes mutagenic growth for me to cast it, which isn't really where I want to be.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, absolute great play. Even the 3 toughness isn't irrelevant either. If you just want to try and chip in some damage, it's going to be pretty hard to do.
Yeah, thankfully it is only a 2/3, so it's possible to kill it.
Yeah, sure.
So I think, if I remember correctly, what I was trying to do here is just dig for one of the 3 bolts in my deck between Rift Bolt, Chain Lightning, and Lightning Bolt itself.
Yeah, cool. We see Magus here. This could be pretty bad for Will. I mean, he's, as we mentioned before, they don't play very many basic lands in their deck, but I see 1 planes coming off Will's side, but that might be it.
Yeah. So this is definitely gonna lock him out of casting a lot of his spells. But he does also just have a lot of things on board. Both of his creatures are as good or better than the Magus itself. So
yeah, exactly. You are going to have to probably just take your beats from here, but I mean, you're not going to stop putting lands on the battlefield and turning them sideways. So Will has to kind of figure out something fast just to get through this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, definitely taking your beats here down to 9. I mean, you can still take a couple more hits before it's relevant, but
yeah, it's a lot less than you think it is, because to kill the combo, obviously you have to trigger him.
Yep.
Which means you have to be at least 2 life, and he's got 4 power that he's been hitting me with there. So that's
the good times flicker with the pen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gaining life is just going to be pretty hard to push.
Yeah, but I did manage to draw the Lightning Bolt.
Yes.
Good timing. I only had to put myself down to 5 to do it. I mean, I would definitely play white, black 1, opponent discards a card, drain them 6. I think that's a pretty strong card.
Yeah, exactly. And you have the Force of Will backup, so like just in case your opponent does end up putting another creature on the board, like you're probably okay. Like this is looking pretty good for you.
Yeah. I'm not super thrilled about Force of Will in this situation, but
you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah. It's better than having no
clear.
cards.
Yeah. Keep the board clear as much as possible so you can get through as much damage as you can. Like, he's on 20, you're on 5, you know, like it's...
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning pretty heavily on this Magus in this game.
Yeah, well, thankfully Will might not be able to get rid of it.
Magus of the Moon itself is actually also a wizard for Atlas. So.
Hey, there we go. We figured it out. What's your thoughts on playing the... I know that you have a Wheel of Fortune in hand. Is there any like...
I discarded it to clean up on the Gush turn, actually.
Okay, so there's no thought that you would want to play it at any time in the future?
I mean, if I got to 5 mana and my only card in hand was Snapcaster Mage, then maybe. But yeah, when you're in a position where you're discarding the cleanup, Wheel of Fortune's probably not a card you want in your hand anymore.
Yeah, sure. That's reasonable. That's a slip-through space.
Yep.
Played on the... what's this here? The Abbot of Coral Keep?
Yes, that is an Abbot of Coral Keep.
Ooh, coming in for a lot of damage soon. So it's got Prowess itself, so we're swinging for how much? 2, 3...
7, I believe.
Hey, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And we're getting there,
Yeah, I'm just trying to close the game out pretty much as quickly as possible so that he can't draw a way out of the Blood Moon, or the Magus of the Moon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because obviously as a Magus rather than a real Blood Moon, it can die to a lot of things.
Yeah. Are you worried at all about him playing his own Die Fleet Daredevils, considering that you saw it, or you're just trying to push as fast as you can to get through?
Mostly trying to push as fast as I can to get through. Obviously, I've just left incredible targets in the graveyard anyway. There's a Time Walk in there.
Yeah.
So there's... Like, if he draws a Dire Fleet, it's going to be good for him.
No matter what.
Yeah, I think I've pretty much already reached the point where I've given him all the best options in my deck, so...
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. There's no use sort of trying to play around it. I mean, you can try and dig for the treasure cruise as much as possible, but in the end, you're just going to try and have to push through and get that last bit of damage.
Yeah.
Where you can.
I think even if I had found treasure cruise, I probably would prefer to keep a lot of those haymakers in my graveyard in case I draw Snapcaster Mage, rather than trying to lock him out of
casting Dire Fleet.
Yeah.
Ooh, Submerge is pretty good here, right?
Yeah, so this is actually the reason it took me so long to think about that Scry, is because of the Submerge.
Okay.
Because currently Submerge doesn't do anything, because Will doesn't control any forests.
Yep.
All he has is mountains and the plains.
You definitely could in the future.
Yeah, that is essentially my logic, is that I'm currently so far ahead based on the Magus that I can afford to have a dead card in my hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if he draws a way to get rid of it, Submerge is just incredibly powerful.
And you're pretty close to dead as well, you know, like...
Yeah.
Ooh, Kari Zev. Yes, Kari Zev's expertise getting control of the champion. That's a good way to finish the game.
Kari Zev's was originally in the deck because we were testing it with Wheel of Fate, because obviously Kari Zev's let you cast the 0-cost spell for free. And we discovered, unsurprisingly, Wheel of Fate was pretty bad every time we didn't draw Kari Zev's expertise.
Yeah.
But Kari Zev's expertise was just amazing every time I drew it.
Okay.
Even if I didn't have a Wheel of Fate.
I mean, you have like so many targets for it, right? You know,
so
like
there's the... Almost every card in the deck can be cast off Kari Zev's.
Yeah, cool. And it's creature as well, right? You can just
any spell of 3 or less. So just putting out anything really is often a massive tempo swing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's a fantastic showing of your deck. I mean, Magus definitely did a lot of the work in that last game, but that's just the way it is sometimes. But it was good to see that.
That's what happens when you choose to play 5 colors in a format with Blood Moon.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to keep the formats fair. Thank you so much for joining us, Phil.
No worries. Happy to.
Yeah, it was fantastic watching your deck and watching a little bit more Highlander action. Always stay tuned for Legacy, Modern, and Highlander into the future, because we'll be releasing these GP videos as soon as possible. So thanks, guys.